Today on the Trent Out Loud podcast. Yesterday, when Cassie Ventura took the stand, I told you guys that things are really not looking good for Diddy. I was like, Diddy might even get 3 life sentences. Well, today, Diddy's high-priced lawyers cross-examined Cassie, and I have a complete change of mind. Diddy might not be going away for 3 life sentences, but Diddler, you're at least going away for 1. I don't care how much you cross-examine Cassie, Diddy's got to do some jail time just for being a freaky deaky diddler. You can't have that level of freaky and just be walking the streets. Nah, you got to lock him up on something. What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, I don't care what time zone you're in. It's Friday! We made it. Round of applause for everybody that made it through this long week. What up? We are here. Yeah, I know it might be Thursday night for some of y'all, but let's just all pretend it's Friday, all right? I'm in a great mood today, and I have a great jam-packed show for you guys. We have 3 lead stories. We're going to kick it off by talking about Cassie's cross-examination at the Diddy trial. We're going to break everything down for you. Also, Halle Bailey gets temporary sole custody of her son Halo from DDG. And Megan Thee Stallion's lawyer addresses Tory Lanez press conference. In quick Diddy news, Diddy is being sued. He has a new civil suit, and the lady claims that Diddy is the size of a Tootsie Roll. In quick news, we're going to talk Derek Chauvin, Walmart, Tory Lanez, Gervonta Davis, and Chris Breezy. As always, we're going to close out the show with comments of the day, social discussion of the day, question of the day, and a little bit of sports news. Let me see your Tootsie Roll. Hey, Tootsie Roll. Sorry, Diddy thing. All right. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, your devices up. I told y'all I'm in a good mood. Let's go. Let me see your Tootsie Roll. This is the last thing I want to think about is Diddy and the Tootsie Roll. Let's go. Our first lead story. All right, Cassie had her 3rd day up on the stand, but today she was cross-examined by Diddy's high-price attorneys. And let me tell you something, they did a great job. There was a couple of things that came up that was a little bit questionable that they did. People are saying it's a little bit dirty, but hey, you're trying to defend somebody that's doing dirty things. You got to employ some dirty tactics. That's defense. I am going to walk you guys through the day. I have a bunch of my own notes that I got from people who I know inside the courtroom, and then I'm going to read a couple of things. And I'm also going to read you guys some text messages that are very, very damning and very different to what Cassie was saying for the past 2 days. I feel like the prosecution may have laid it on a little too thick. Once you hear and see some of these text messages, the defense did a good job, all right? Just to sum it up quickly. Okay, so Diddy's lawyer cross-examined Anna, I'm going to butcher her last name, but Estevano. I'm just going to call her Anna for the rest of this segment, okay? So from what I heard from Anna had a very gentle tone, and she was very settling. Now, yesterday, I thought that Nicole Westmoreland, the black female lawyer, was going to do the cross-examination, but it seems like Anna won the job. From what I'm hearing, the defense, which is really smart, they have a game plan, but they're calling audibles like every second, and they're willing to change based on what the testimony is. I heard that every single one of Diddy's lawyers stayed up last night till 4 o'clock in the morning, and they were at court at 7 or 8 o'clock today. They, of course, have a game plan, but it's everything that Cassie says. They're going back and then working from there. I'll tell you guys about that, the 400 documents that they dumped on the prosecution, okay? But I guess Anna got the vote. She's somebody like how we know about Brian Steele, where very docile and very calm. You're cross-examinating somebody who is pregnant, almost 8 months pregnant in their third trimester. So she won the task. From what I heard, she did an amazing job. She starts off by laying the groundwork, how they loved each other. They're in a very loving relationship. She starts off the first couple of hours by saying that Cassie wanted a kid with Diddy. She wanted to have a family with him, etc. Then after the first hour, I'm going to get into all the details for you. After the first hour, I want to highlight this. Diddy's team allegedly got pulled in by the prosecution with the judge. They actually had to take a break. And they dumped over 400 text messages overnight into the court docket. And the prosecution's like, hey, you can't do that. Now, the defense is saying, hey, we got this from all your discovery. This is not our stuff. This is stuff that you guys dumped in on us. We are just selecting that this is what we are going to use today. So basically what they were saying is they went over Cassie's testimony yesterday, the court transcripts, and they brought up text messages to counteract every single thing that she said yesterday, and the prosecution had a problem with that. Now, I understand that it is a little last minute and you could say that it's dirty, but at the end of the day, it's evidence that the prosecution gave to the defense. And yes, you have to tell them within a reasonable amount of time what you're going to use. But if Cassie says something yesterday, how would they know what she's going to say? And they're bringing up text messages that counteract exactly what she said. So the judge let it in. However, he said, don't be so detailed and so gory. You'll find out why when I read some of the text messages to you. Some of the text messages said that she's ready for a freak off at any time. She even suggested some male workers herself. Cassie confirmed that they did freak offs with other women. I'm going to get into that soon. So the roles were reversed. For the past 2 days, we heard about Cassie being with male workers. Today, we're going to hear a little bit about them going to swingers clubs and her watching Diddy with female workers. Okay. I'm just doing my summary. Tomorrow, Cassie will return on the stand for 2 hours, and then the government is going to bring out their next witness, and their next witness is Dawn Richards. Okay. So that's the summary, but now we're going to get into the thick of it. I want to, actually, let me save this for in the middle. Okay. Here we go. Defense begins cross-examination with Cassie. Questions about early loving relationship. Like I told you, just want to give you guys some more details. The fourth day of testimony in Diddy's NYC trial began Thursday with Cassie taking the stand again, with Diddy's defense team turn at cross-examining her after 3 days of prosecution's questioning. Sean Diddy Combs' defense attorney, Anna, asked Cassie to read a text she sent to Combs years ago. Cassie read it out loud to the court. I love you, smiley face. I'll fly anywhere for you. I love you, Cass. Affectionate messages from Diddy were also shown to the court from early on in their relationship, which Cassie described on the stand this morning as loving. I'm a very lucky woman. I wish you very much, she said, reading from one of the text exchanges. Diddy's defense team appeared to deploy a strategy of attempting to show a loving relationship between Cassie and Diddy during their lengthy relationship in an effort to bolster their position that she consented to the terms of their relationship and chose to stay in it. Cassie admitted she'd been in love with Diddy for more than a decade, but she seems to push back on question about her continuing to return to him after 11 years, saying, I wouldn't say coming back. She said she believed he loved her back. When asked whether it hurt when he cheated on her, and she said, not every time. Anna then referred to a 2009 email and asked Ventura what BG means, and Cassie replied, baby girl. Before the jury was seated Thursday morning, prosecutors told the judge they were frustrated by the defense dumping 400 exhibits overnight, which they hadn't yet been able to analyze, which I told you about. Doug Wingdor, Cassie's own attorney, addressed the judge and asked to be included in any consideration by the court about what she could be asked about by the defense team. Since she's the only named witness, it seems he's concerned about privacy issues as she's asked about her sex life and other lifestyle choices. Okay, now before we go on to the next thing, I'm going to read you guys a text message. Actually, you know what? Let me save it because it's juicy. Hold on. Let me go to the next thing, okay? Cassie to Diddy. I'm always ready to freak off. Text shown to jurors. Cassie expressed to Diddy that she was excited to participate in freak-offs, at least based on the text messages between the exes that was just read in court. The singer is being cross-examined by Diddy's defense team, and jurors on Thursday were shown a slew of graphic sex text messages from their relationship. In one message, Cassie tells Diddy, "I'm always ready to freak off. It can be whenever." The text was from a BlackBerry message to Diddy on October the 5th, 2009, about 2 years into their relationship. The defense has said Diddy's alleged victims, including Cassie, were willing participants in the freak-offs and everything was consensual. And that seems to be what they're trying to convey in the text messages being presented in court. Cassie previously testified that her first freak-off was the first year of the relationship when she was 22 years old, and that it made her feel dirty and confused. But it looks like she was telling Diddy something different, at least in these messages. Another text read by the defense in court, Cassie tells Diddy, "I feel like I want to F." And he responded, "I'm so excited, I can't concentrate." And Cassie replies, "I'll go to the read for candles and set up the room." Another text from Cassie to Diddy says, "I can't wait for you to de-tease my P word raw." Okay. Diddy's defense attorney, Anna, also asked Cassie if Diddy taught her how to perform an sex act with her mouth. And she says he did. She was then asked to read another text, but Cassie asked for Anna to read it because it was making her laugh. The message was from 2007 and it read, "I feel protected, you're sweet." Cassie was asked about her 21st birthday party in Las Vegas. She previously testified it was the first time Diddy kissed her and revealed celebrities in attendance included Britney Spears and Dallas Austin. Okay, now I've been teasing you guys a little. Let's take a break and I'll actually read some transcripts from the trial. But bombshell, she said yesterday, "I felt dirty, I felt gross, I didn't like it." And in text messages, she's like, "Yo, I can't wait for you to de-tease my P raw. Are you feeling this? I'm feeling it too. Cool. I'll go to the store. I'll get some candles. I'll set up the room." Now, I'm here just to tell y'all what is going on. If you're the jury, do you feel like these text messages are for somebody that's being coerced, or does this text messages sound like it's being written by somebody who is down for this? Now, I'm sure a couple of you are going to say, well, you know, she was only down for this for him. She was only down for this to make him happy. And she had said that. She said, "Hey, I didn't really love what I was doing, but I didn't want him to do it with another girl. So I was down to do it. I made him feel like I wanted to do it." However, this is a court case and Diddy is on trial for coercion. And what I said to you guys yesterday, which I thought was a mistake by the prosecution, well, not really a mistake. They don't really have a choice, but we have yet to see proof of a text message where Diddy says something that is coercion. We've never seen an email or text messages or a video or anything, even a handwritten note that says, "You need to do this. You have to do this. You must do this." We have not seen that. We told you guys yesterday about closing the loop, closing the circle. There was a lot of bad things, but it wasn't closed. There's no concrete proof that he was threatening her that she must do this. Remember, that's what he's on trial for. It's not the sex that's the problem. It's, was she coerced to do this? Was she threatened to do this? The prosecution has yet to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt. And these text messages completely, if they brought it to 90%, these text messages bring it back to at least a 50-50. Okay, let me read you some text messages now that that's in your head. Diddy's lawyer questioned Cassie over text messages where she once agreed to freak off. Now, this is Anna. "Mr. Combs wrote to you, 'I want to freak out right now,' and you wrote that you wanted to too. Laugh out loud, me too." Ventura said, "I text more than that." Anna says, But did you text that to him? Mr. Combs wrote to you, Jules is available if you are into it. Then another text message says, Anna again, you could have said yes or no, and you said, love you. Ventura said, there was no and yes or no. Then Anna brings up B402 on page 2. Mr. Combs wrote, do I have your permission to set up freaky fun? You wrote ovulation. Ventura said yes. Here is another one. Combs, August 2009. When do you want to freak off? Laugh out loud. Cassie wrote, I'm always ready to freak out. 2 days later, Combs said, I can't wait to watch you. I want you to get real hot. Cassie wrote back, me too. I just want it to be uncontrollable. So let's get back to some things about swingers now, which is going to allude to those text messages. Cassie on Diddy. Yes, we were swingers. Diddy's defense says his sex preference are part of his swinger lifestyle, and Cassie just testified that they did some swinging. Cassie is being cross-examined by Diddy's defense attorney, Anna, and she confirmed she had conversation with Diddy about a swinger lifestyle when they were in a relationship. The swinger says she experienced swinging firsthand when accompanying Diddy to an sex club, watching him have sex with other women multiple times, which sounds like a reversal of freak-offs, where a previous witness said Diddy would watch her having sex with a male sex worker. Anna asked Diddy straight up if the freak-offs were related to the swinger lifestyle, and she responded, related in a sex way, yeah, but they're very different. Diddy being a swinger is a key part of his defense, with the head of his legal team, Mark Agofino, previously arguing being a swinger is so common, Diddy probably didn't think twice about it. The mogul's lawyers seem to be trying to establish some of the alleged sex behavior was part of a swinger lifestyle, as opposed to prosecution's claim of sex trafficking and coercion, and they are leaning into it during Cassie's cross-examination. Okay, now, here's another one where Cassie's talking about ovulating. Cassie to Diddy, I'm ovulating, but we can kiss, responding to a freak-off request. Diddy asked Cassie if he had permission to set up a freak-off, and then she told him she was ovulating, but appeared to agree on going forward with it if things remained PG. The interesting exchange was raised Thursday while Cassie was being cross-examined by Diddy's defense attorney, Anna, who was going over text messages between the former couple. Diddy texted Cassie asking permission to set up freaky fun, and her response was limited to one word, ovulation, which sounds like a clear no to a sex involvement. She previously testified Diddy would not want male workers using protection with her during freak-offs. Diddy texted Cassie asking if they could kiss a lot, and she agreed. Diddy asked Cassie which hotel they would be meeting at and testified she offered to go to an sex shop, the Pleasure Chest, to stock up on sex supplies, including lubricants and outfits. Prosecutors claim Diddy was coercing Cassie into participating into freak-offs, but it appears his defense is using cross-examination to show things between them were consensual. This exchange happened in the summer of 2017, towards the end of their relationship. Okay, the reason why I saved this one to the end and I wanted to take you guys through the whole timeline, where there's a lot of things I just read to you, to me, in my opinion, the biggest part here is this last thing. This exchange happened in the summer of 2017 towards the end of their relationship. During Cassie's testimony, she said it started out where she wanted to do it, but then she felt gross, and then it came to a point where it was her job, and she felt like it was her job, and she didn't want to do it. If they would have only had text messages today that showed she liked it in 2009, 2010, and was like, yeah, I'm ready for a freak off, all of that kinky talk, if that was earlier on, then I would be like, okay, I could see how she eventually, she started doing it. They were dating. They fell in love. and then it could have turned into coercion after if they didn't have any back and forth messages at the end. But the fact that Cassie had these back and forth playful text messages saying that like, hey, yeah, well, I'm ovulating. Okay, can we kiss? Can we do this? Can we hang out? Da, da, da. And that was throughout their whole relationship. I feel like there could be a couple of jurors on that panel that might be like, I don't really see the coercion. Now, like I said, and I'll always say every day, I don't care how much I'm repeating myself, Diddy is a sick man. I am going further beyond jail. He should be spending his time in a mental place. Like I feel like he is sick. Like, how can you be doing this? And how can you be living this type of lifestyle when you're 55 years old and you have 6 children? Like, he is not normal. The lifestyle is crazy. What we talked about with like the Tootsie roll and all of that stuff, like sitting in the corner, bro, like you're 55 years old with 6 children. Like, what are you doing? He is sick. However, we are in a courtroom and I am trying to walk you guys through the subtle nuances of the law of the courtroom and what the prosecution is trying to do and what the defense is trying to do. And in the comment section yesterday, somebody said, in federal court, it's about the evidence that they have and the defense has to prove it's not guilty. And I told you guys how wrong that was. In any court system, especially in the United States of America, you are innocent. The prosecution must prove you're guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And that is what I personally have chosen to focus on because this is my expertise. I have a tremendous amount of experience in court cases, whether they be criminal, whether they be business, etc., etc. And it's far from over. This is the first week. We still have 7 more weeks to go. The prosecution, I just told you, tomorrow, if the cross-examination doesn't take the whole day or half the day, they're bringing in Don Richards. The prosecution still has a lot more opportunity to prove their case. And they still have another Jane Doe, who's another one of Diddy's girlfriends, who we think is supposed to be, what's her name? Something Hun. Is it Gina Hun? And maybe with Gina Hun, you'll hear Diddy saying, yo, if you don't do freak offs, this, or if you don't listen to me, I'll expose you. We have yet to see proof of the coercion on Diddy's side. And today, what we just saw, the defense prove is that there were at least at times where Cassie was a very willing participant. And if you believe Cassie in her testimony, then I think it's only fair you believe her in her text messages. You cannot say, well, those text messages are not her really telling the truth. And those text messages are not her, her real thoughts. She's just doing it because she's in a bad relationship. I find that a little bit of a hard pill to swallow. I haven't seen anything in these text messages where it seems like, well, I'm not happy with what you did last night, but if you want to, honey, this seems very playful. It seems very much like I'll run to Dwayne Reed and get candles. Like, it just seems like it's very, like she is into it. These text messages, the prosecution will have a chance to talk to Cassie again. Maybe tonight they will bring and show us some text messages where it seems that she's coming from a place of Diddy putting hands on her and making her feel, and then it will erase all these text messages. But today was a big win for the defense. As much as I do not want to say that, and I wish every day that they lost, I feel like today is a win. And you guys know me. I got to stay in the middle and I got to stay fair, especially when it comes to the court system. As always, I would love to know what you guys think. And I'm always up and interested for you guys to tell me if you think I'm wrong or if you disagree or if you think I'm reading it wrong. especially from a female's perspective. I'm a male. I'm looking at this from a man's perspective. Please weigh in. We have seen females in the comment section where some of them are like, listen, if I am a woman, if this ever happened to me one time, I would be out. I would leave. Then you see some other women are like, yeah, well, you guys don't understand how it feels to be in a relationship like this. And you feel like you're stuck and you feel like you just have to keep on going. I understand that part. In these text messages, I don't see that in these text messages. That's why I wanted to read them to you guys. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comment section below. Sorry, guys, I want to jump back in here and just tell you one more thing. Roberta just sent this to me. Sound to Roberta. I saw this before and I didn't think that was like too much of a big deal, but I feel like people are talking about it, so I just wanted to tell you about it. Cassie also testified that Diddy Od'D on DRUG in 2012 after having a freak off and going to an SCX club at the mansion there with the bunny ears. Says the two used to call each other get high partners. More details continue to come out as Cassie testifies on the stand during cross-examination. She talked about several things, but today we learned about an alleged OD. Diddy's legal team asked Cassie if her and Diddy referred to each other as get high partners. She confirmed saying, we did. It was also revealed that Diddy told LA DRUG dealers not to sell to her. More shockingly, Cassie said back in 2012, Diddy was on strong DRUG. The ones that he was on started with an O, okay? And in February of that year, 2012, tragedy struck. She says they had a freak off and they had a freak off and went to an SCX club. Afterwards, Diddy went to the mansion with bunnies for a party alone. She testified that later that night, she helped take him to the hospital where she learned he OD'd. Cassie also confirmed that there was no DRUG in the baby oil used for freak-offs. Remember, there was a previous lawsuit where Diddy was accused of adding DRUG to the lubricants. To me, honestly, for that little piece of information is the baby oil. To me, that is the bigger thing because everybody's been talking about the baby oil. What's in it? And Cassie's just confirming, yo, Diddy's just a freaky deaky dude and he likes me to be glistening. I told you guys that there was like a pool in the hotels where it was not filled up with water. It was filled up with baby oil. You know how many bottles of baby oil it takes to fill up a waiting pool? That's got to take at least 100 bottles. So if he has 1,000 of them there, that's only 10 pools to fill up. And the guy's a billionaire. It's nothing to him. Anyways, this is what is happening. To me, the bigger story is the text messages. But again, shout out to Roberta and a couple of people that had sent this to me. And maybe y'all think it's important. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Our second lead story. Halle Bailey wants sole custody of baby Halo, and she says DDG has threatened to put hands on her and says that he has even hidden baby Halo before. According to court documents obtained by People magazine, Halle Bailey is requesting sole custody and physical custody of her son, who she shares with her ex DDG. She also states that DDG has a history of putting hands on her and has taken and hidden Halo from her and threatens to take and hide him again as he refuses to cooperate with her parenting. In addition, Halle is requesting that DDG be granted only supervised visits with baby Halo once a week for 6 hours through a professional agency. She is also asking the courts to prevent him from taking Halo outside of Los Angeles County. All right, we told you guys about this yesterday. We showed you pictures of bruising on Haley's arm. She had a chipped tooth. And I was thinking of the word yesterday and I couldn't find a word. Sole custody. I saw some of you guys in the comment section. Sole custody, Trent. Only if it was alive, right? I would have found the word. Anyways, yesterday I predicted that she would do something like this. From what I've heard, maybe this article is a little bit old, but from what I've heard, she's been granted temporary sole custody. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's till June 4th until they can have a court hearing, and that's when the judge will decide if it will be permanent or not. knowing from what we know from yesterday, what I told you, and the evidence that we have, there's no judge that I know that would not grant her full custody unless DDG comes up with some sort of proof on his own that he didn't bruise her, that was not him who gave her the chip on her tooth. I don't know how he would come up with this. We showed you guys text message yesterday of him being jealous, of him showing pictures of Brent Faya saying, here's your new boyfriend, pictures of her bed. So I find it very, very unlikely. I'd be very, very surprised if a judge doesn't grant her full custody. Another thing that I find just shocking, DDG, and this is the reason why I've never been a really big fan of him, he's always come across on his stream as if like, they have a typical co-parenting arguments. That's how he tries to come off. Oh man, I can't see my son. What's going on? And I've reported it. We talk about DDG and Halle Bailey at least once a week on this podcast, right? And you hear him coming on saying, yeah, I know my son is sick, but I want to take care of him. How come I can't have my son, et cetera, et cetera. And listen, what are we now in May? We found out yesterday that this has been going on since January. So DDG gets on his podcast or gets on his stream, every day and complains about Halle, only to find out now that the reason why he wasn't able to get his son is for all of the horrible, ridiculous things he's been doing to Halle. Like, are you crazy? We see your stream, sir. All that lives online. The judge just needs that to prove that you're crazy. You know what I'm saying? You're coming out here and you're trying to make it seem like Halle is the bad person. Like she's just a mom that's being like possessive and wants to keep her son for no reason. Come to find out it's because of you and the things that you've been doing to her. This guy's crazy. He was on The Breakfast Club last week or 2 weeks ago. And every time I talk about DDG, I always say I'm not a big fan, but I have never had any like specific reason other than the fact like I was just on Haley's side with the arguments, right? But it was more like he just kind of just rubbed me the wrong way. Something just came across weird. So when he was on The Breakfast Club, I said to myself, just watch the interview and just give him a chance. Just watch it from an open mind. And I watched it and a little part of me was like, you know what? Maybe he's not that bad. His demeanor was so calm during that interview, like so chill. Charlemagne, he's always trying to throw jokes or, Jess Laris or whatever, blah, blah. And through all of the back and forth of being on The Breakfast Club, he was just cool, calm, and collective. Even in the comment section, it was like, hey, he brings a nice calm to the room. And a little part of me was like, you know what? Maybe I was being hard on this guy. Come to find out, I was wrong. I was right from the beginning. Always trust your gut. Always trust your intuition, man. This guy is a snake, low down, dirty. And to me, it makes it even worse, the fact that he was on his stream trying to get people on his side, trying to have streamathons, releasing an album, all while trying to make Halle look bad. Come to find out that she was only keeping Halo away because of the things you were doing to her. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Who knows what's going to happen to him? I called around. I've asked some people close to the situation. And I asked this question yesterday. Are we going to see charges being pressed? Because she has the evidence. For now, she's just trying to get sole custody, which typical of loving mothers putting themselves aside, thinking about their son. Hey, I just don't want my son with him. And that's what she's going to do first. Yesterday, remember I told you, she said, even though he was doing those things to her and putting hands on her and her tooth got chipped, she still stayed in the car all the way to his house because Halo was crying and she was thinking about him. Again, typical loving, amazing woman and a mother. We'll see if after she gets her custody, if she'll go on further to press charges. We'll see where we go from there. For those who missed yesterday's episode, and if you're wondering what DDG is doing, we told you guys yesterday, he put up a tweet, said, hey, by the way, I'm unbothered, chilling, I'll be streaming, no days off. That is DDG's answer to what's going on and what we know now. I'll let y'all decide how you feel about DDG. Let me know in the comment section below. Our third lead story. Megan Thee Stallion's lawyer releases a statement following a recent press conference in Tory Lanez's case. Megan Thee Stallion's attorney, Alex Spiro, who's Jay-Z and Rock Nation's lawyer, by the way, has released the following statement to XXL about Tory Lanez's attorney, now claiming to have evidence that proves Megan was SHOT by Kelsey Harris. He says, Tory Lanez was tried and convicted by a jury of his peers, and his case was properly adjudicated through the court system. This is not a political matter. This is a case that was resolved in the court of law. All right, now we know Alex Spiro is a great attorney. He got Jay-Z off and was making Tony Busby look horrible. However, I completely disagree with this statement. I know his job is to always make Megan Thee Stallion look good in a positive light, but how can an attorney sit down here and say, Tory Lanez was tried in a court of law by a jury of his peers, etc., and just negate the fact that we have new evidence? He was tried, correct? But this is new evidence. This new evidence should be able to be at least investigated or looked into. Now, we're going to talk to you guys a little bit more in quick stories. We have something from Megan and another lawyer where the fact that this has not been submitted yet officially to the court system. They just did the press conference, and I get that. However, I just really disagree with this statement. If it's possible that an innocent man is in jail, anybody that is in the legal field should at least at bare minimum say, hey, this is something to look into. And he didn't say that anywhere in his statement. I'll leave it up to you guys, how you let me know how you feel about that. And like I said, we'll talk about this a little bit more in quick news. But for now, Tory Lanez is still in the hospital. For those who missed this week's show, Tory Lanez got poked up in jail 14 times, back, torso, head, and face. And then the next day or 2 days later, his attorney and father had a press conference stating that Kelsey, who is Megan Thee Stallion's best friend, her driver or bodyguard says that he heard Kelsey admitting to the fact that she was actually the one that had the GUN and let off the SHOTs. All right. So we'll see what happens. This is definitely developing, but we'll pick this back up in quick news with Megan. For now, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to quick Diddy news. Ring my bell. Our first quick Diddy story. Diddy is being sued for an alleged 2001 R-word by a woman that says his pee was the size of a Tootsie Roll, claiming she was relieved because she knew it wouldn't hurt as much. She said it's an itty bitty Diddy. Okay. Now, I wanted to bring this up, honestly, not to be funny, but to ask you guys a question. More importantly, to ask the women this question, okay? 50 Cent posted this because you know that he loves to drag Diddy. He put part of the complaint in there, and then he made a comment, and I actually thought this comment was really interesting, and I wanted to ask the ladies, okay? This is what 50 Cent put up. Says, Plaintiff Jane Doe recalls feeling relieved when she saw defendant Combs's pee because she knew it wouldn't hurt as much when he R-worded her due to the lack of length and girth. She thought his pee was an itty bitty Diddy. Okay, now 50 Cent wrote, let me see you Tootsie Roll. He actually played the Tootsie Roll song in there. But then he wrote, that's why he's in the corner doing whatever he's doing in the corner. I wanted to ask you guys, do you think that's why Diddy is into these things and that's why he's hiring these male workers to be with Cassie because he doesn't feel like he's sufficient enough to do what that needs to be done? Is this what it? I have been thinking since I've been researching and following this case, like word for word. I have been thinking, and I'm sure most of you must have too. Now, why would a man want to hire another man to do something to his girl? And then on top of it, he's just in the corner in the chair just watching. Do you guys think that that's why he's doing this? Is because he is not adequately enough to do? Yo, this is crazy. Now, I'm sure 50 Cent just made it as a joke, but I guess maybe I shouldn't. At first, I was like, maybe I should ask the ladies, but maybe I should be asking the guys. Anyways, I'm asking everybody. Do you guys think, maybe this should have been social discussion of the day, is Diddy hiring other males? Because if you hear in a lot of the court transcripts, Cassie asked for pictures of the male workers thing, and Diddy says that he likes to look at it too and judge. And there was one, I think the first male worker that testified day one, he says that, what's his name again? The one that was in the hallway was Jules. I don't remember the name of the guy who testified on Monday, but he says he came in, went, did the thing, he left, and then she came out. When he left, Cassie said, hey, could you send me a picture of your thing? They both looked at the picture and said, hey, can you come back? I think 50 might be onto something. Maybe he does have a Tootsie Roll, and this is the way that he could please his women, is getting them men that have an adequate thing. And then once they have done that, then he goes and, I don't know, maybe finishes, or the fact that, okay, they feel good now because I wasn't able to do it. That's crazy work, y'all. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. Our first quick story. Minnesota braces for possible civil unrest over Derek Chauvin pardon talks. How did we get back here again? Like, I don't understand what's going on. I remember we talked about this 2 or 3 months ago. Donald Trump came out and said, I'm denouncing this. This is not true. What's been going on here, man? Minnesota officials are reportedly on high alert as chatter around a possible presidential pardon for Derek Chauvin gains traction. Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer convicted of the George Floyd crime in 2020, is serving both federal and state sentences totaling over 2 decades. Governor Tim Walz, Minnesota, and Minnesota Mayor Jacob Frey and the county sheriff have all been briefed on security plans in the event of Donald Trump moving forward with a pardon. The Minneapolis National Guard is also on standby should public protests arise. Though Trump claimed back in March he hadn't heard about pardoning Chauvin, the conversation has resurfaced thanks to vocal support from figures like Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. She falsely argued that Floyd was unalive due to DRUG overdose, a claim contradicted by official autopsy results. Chauvin's conviction includes second-degree unintentional unaliving, third-degree unaliving, and second-degree, etc., etc. Okay? While a presidential pardon would wipe out his federal charges, his 22.5-year state sentence would keep him behind bars well into his 60s. Anyways, here is the tweet. I'm presuming it's a tweet from Marjorie Taylor Greene. She said, I strongly support Derek Chauvin being pardoned and released from prison. George Floyd was unalived due to DRUG. And she put a post from a news station. Are they trying to do this because they know all the news attention is over on Diddy and they're just trying to like slide this? Like, what's going on? National Guard is on alert and everything. I will be severely disappointed in Donald Trump if he pardons him, not just because this has been tried and been proven time and time again, but just a fact also, let's just be real, he cannot pardon him from state crimes. He'll be in jail until he's 60. How old is Derek Chauvin now? That's probably at least, 10 or 15 years? This is Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I'm sure some other people trying to rile up Trump's base. This is all they're doing. It's not like he will actually get out. So what would be the point? Tell me, you're going to knock off 3 or 4 years? Now, let's say his state time is done in 10 or 15 years. Then if you want to argue, hey, pardon him, etc. Well, Trump probably won't be in office at that time, but just ridiculous. Let me actually just Google how old Derek Chauvin is. How old is Derek Chauvin? Thanks a lot, Siri. She's so quiet. Derek Chauvin is 49 years old, so well into his 60s. Like I said, that's at least 15 years. Even with the Fed time, he's there 22. He probably will be out in his mid-60s anyways. This is MAGA trying to rile up their base. It's what they do. Ridiculous. And why would the National Guard have to be on standby if he's not getting out of jail? Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Our second quick story. Walmart warns customers prices are going up thanks to tariffs. Hey, I thought we were all cool with the tariffs and stuff. What's going on here, man? The world's biggest retailer has announced that prices on some products will go up starting this month, pointing to increased costs from tariffs as the reason. The company states it can't fully absorb the extra expenses from new taxes on import goods, especially electronics, toys, and even some foods. The tariffs, which are part of Donald Trump's ongoing global trade dispute, includes higher duties on products from China, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, and Colombia. Even after recent reductions, the remaining fees are still driving up prices on store shelves. Walmart executives say the impact will be felt more noticeably at the end of May or even into June. Shoppers can expect to pay more for items like strollers, toys, and mattresses, products that are still made overseas. Though Walmart supports the idea of more balanced trade systems, it believes the current tariff levels are still too steep and unfairly hit customers. Some companies are raising prices across the board, while others are cutting certain products to avoid sticker shock. For Walmart, which already operates on a thin profit margin, the trade battle puts them in a tight spot. Okay. Look, hold on. It also says, what makes it worse? Speaking out against the tariffs has become a political minefield. When Amazon and Mattel tried to pass on price increase or even dissolve tariff-related costs, they reportedly face threats from Trump himself. Despite the challenges, Walmart is navigating the trade battle better than most. Sales are up, especially in groceries, and the retailer continues to attract wealthy shoppers thanks to its competitive pricing. Look, I'm just going to tell you guys a little something from my 10, 15 years in retail. I'm not saying this is fact. I'm just saying is that retailers will find ways to increase prices when they can and blame it on other things. Y'all remember what happened in 2020? Oh, this is happening because what's going on in the globe? We have to raise prices. Things got better. Prices stayed the same. Okay, so everybody knows and has heard about tariffs. Donald Trump has taken off. He has made exceptions. He's brought it down to 30%. Walmart is a billion-dollar company. I understand that they run on tight margins, but I feel like this could be them taking advantage of a situation. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our third quick story. All right, this is what I was talking about earlier. Tory Lanez's legal team has yet to submit their new evidence into appeal court despite announcing it during a recent press conference. This comes out from Megan. Shout out to Megan. Here's my take on Tory Lanez. The amount of violence in our prison is horrifying. It's not at all funny what's happening, and no, he does not deserve it. The claims about new evidence hasn't been filed in the appellate case. Until it is, it's not going to factor into anything. According to Megan Cuffin, the new evidence Tory Lanez's team announced yesterday has yet to be officially submitted into the appeal case. So it begs the question, are they trying to drum up public support, telling us that Kelsey's driver overheard this? Because A, it hasn't been submitted, which we just told you. B, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? Is there a text message? Is there voicemail? Is there an email? Is there something? We need something other than the driver, Kelsey's driver / bodyguard saying, I heard her say this. Do we have any proof? Do we have any follow-up? What's Kelsey saying? It could just be hearsay. Maybe that's why they haven't brought it to appellate court. Maybe because of what just happened to Tory getting poked up and being in the hospital. Maybe they're trying to have this be, maybe they're trying to take this to into a public matter is more what I'm trying to say, and put attention on the fact that prison systems are very dangerous. He has an appeal case coming up, and try to appeal to the government to say, hey, let him out. He's already been in there for 2 years. And now we have this bodyguard / driver with this hearsay. Just let him out before we even have to go to appeal court. Maybe that's what they could be doing. Who knows? Here is a video from a lawyer saying that Tory might actually sue the prison, which again, it leads me to believe that maybe he's trying the state and his conviction in the court of public opinion and not in the real court. Take a listen.
So serious questions are going to be asked of the California prison. I assume Tory Lanez is probably right now considering filing a lawsuit against them for failing to safeguard, failing to monitor, failing to take proper precautions to avoid an incident like what you have happened here.
That could be Tory Lanez's play, man. Play it out in the court of public opinion. Put pressure on the state. I heard Governor Newsom, is that his name? The governor out in California. He's been made aware of the situation. Tory Lanez has always proclaimed his innocent. He has an appeal case coming up. He just got poked up, and now we have new evidence. Hey, let him go on time served. Or he's going to be moved to a jail that's a little bit easier for him to spend the remaining of his sentence. We'll see what happens. I'll let you guys know if they do file this in appeal court. If it is real evidence and is not hearsay, they definitely would apply in the appellate court. I'll follow up and let you guys know. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Our fourth quick story. Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach rematch is set for August 16th in Vegas, Las Vegas, Nevada. All right. Normally I would put something like this in sports news of the day. However, we are already talking about the NBA so much in there. I really wanted to put this in here. This is going to be huge. This is one of Tank's biggest fights. It ended in a draw. This was a blemish on Tank's unbeaten record, which is never going to be able to come off. And a lot of boxing experts thought that Tank actually lost. And him taking that knee should have deducted a point and he should have lost. This is Tank's chance at bringing his name back into the name of the greats, right? Floyd Mayweather still 50-0. So he's now one notch under Floyd Mayweather. But August 16th, man, summertime, Tank, Roach, it's going to be good. Our fifth quick story. Chris Brown arrested in Manchester over alleged 2023 bottle attack? What? Chris Brown has been arrested in Manchester for putting hands on a music producer with a bottle 2 years ago. As reported by The Sun, the 36-year-old was detained by Met Police at a hotel on a suspicion of causing grievance and putting hands on somebody, like I said, with a bottle, just after 2 a.m. The arrest stemmed from an incident that occurred on February the 19th, 2023 at Tape nightclub in London. I've actually been there. Shout out to Tape nightclub. The producer alleged that Brown put hands on him with the bottle and then was also doing some other things as he lay on the floor repeatedly. They filed a $16 million civil suit against Chris Brown. And right now, Chris Brown is apparently still in custody. All right. So this is a developing story. From what I've heard, Chris has a bunch of shows booked out there. And what this guy's team was doing was waiting for him to land, know what's going on. And they apparently called the police and was like, yo, Chris Brown is here. I have a civil case and I have all these allegations. I guess he wasn't in their jurisdiction, being in the US or wherever he was. And now when he landed there, he was like, yo, go pick him up, go get him. So I don't know why Chris would go and do a concert there or book a concert there knowing he has an open investigation that's sloppy on his part and his team's part. I mean, he's Chris Brown. He should have enough money and enough lawyers to let him know, like, yo, just don't go back to London right now. I have heard that Donald Trump might get involved to get Chris Brown out because he's being held. I don't know if that is true. I mean, Donald Trump's in like the Middle East doing all of these things, getting $400 million jets. I don't know if that's true, but apparently they're holding Chris Brown and everybody's trying to pull strings to get him out. And somebody's like, yo, call up Trump. Trump's be like, yo, I'm putting sanctions on all y'all. Tariffs if you don't let Chris Brown out. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. All right, let me know what you guys think about Breezy in the comment section below. All right, so this brings me to my favorite segment, comments of the day. All right, let's get to the comments. Y'all were commenting yesterday. But first, we got to give a shout out to the sponsor of the comment section, our favorite digital security platform, Aura. A lot of you guys have been signing up and letting me know of all the amazing things that you are finding out and thanking Aura and thanking me. So you guys are welcome. And it's free. I know a lot of you people have been like, I can't believe they're doing this for free. So I always got to shout them out every day, okay? I have a question for y'all. Is your computer, laptop, or cell phone vulnerable to data breaches? Well, let me answer that question for you. Yes, it is if you're not using Aura, the all-in-one digital security platform. Go to my sponsor, the link is below, aura.com/Trent Out Loud to get a free 14-day trial to see if any of your data or information, banking information, credit card information has already been exposed. They will let you guys know this for free. If nothing has been exposed, great, cool, you know, for free. But if something has been, they'll take it all down and eliminate it for you for free, with my link. Shout out to Aura. If you've ever wondered how scammers get your phone numbers or why your inbox is filled with spam, here is why. There are companies called data brokers that sell your data, and they do it without your consent, and they make billions with a B, billions, selling it to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. This is why I recommend today's sponsor, Aura, to my family, friends, and out louders. Aura takes care of the hard part for you, automatically removing your info off of these sites and keeping it off. You may already have a digital security tool, but not having Aura is like locking your front door and leaving your back door open. And I don't know about y'all, but every night before I go to bed, I make sure and check my back door. Even though I know it's locked, I check it because I want to be safe like that. That's why I use Aura. Well, not Aura, where I have security at my house, but yes, I'm paranoid like that. With Aura, you get alerts if your personal information is found on the dark web, real-time fraud alerts for credit cards and banking. I love that. You also get a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and they have US-based support round the clock people, and they are the friendliest, nicest people. I'm telling you, they are amazing. If anything does go wrong, Aura also includes a $5 million identity theft insurance package. Amazing, amazing makers. If anything slips, anything is found out, boom, you have insurance, all right? Aura will do this all with the 14-day free link that you could find in my bio right here below. I will also put up the QR code. You could take out your phone, open your camera, point it at the screen. You'll get a little link. It will take you right to that link. Follow that link and follow that webpage. Fill out all the information. Sign up for free. Trust me, it is amazing. They'll go through all of your stuff with a fine tooth comb and let you know if any of your information is out on the dark web, and they'll take it off for you free of charge just for being an Out Loud member. All right, we got y'all. Okay, now the first comment is from Brittany. What up, Brittany? Brittany says, everyone is wanted in Trent Out Loud court today. Y'all better get ready. Love it. Let's go Out Louders. All right, I just picked this one, but I saw a bunch of you making jokes with my hammer yesterday with my, it's over there, with my judge stuff. I just wanted to thank y'all for that. Sometimes I'm like, yo, do we just get right to the news? Do we get to the nitty gritty? It just makes me feel good to start off the show with a joke. And like I said, sometimes I'm like, this is needed, but seeing you guys comment and laugh at it makes me feel good. There's so much seriousness in the world, and we deal with so many serious issues and sad issues and scary issues and like sick people like Diddy. I like to start off with a joke, and it makes me feel good that you guys like it too, right? That's why we're all family, right? Outsiders, out louders. All right. Next comment is from Emma. Oh, this is good. Hey, Judge Out Loud, laugh out loud. It never fails when I'm up at 4 a.m. and I turn on my TV and I watch TOL. You never fail making me smile and even laugh and keeping us up to date with Diddy. You are part of my routine every morning. This is Emma from North Carolina. Come on and raise up. Here's my favorite part. I almost forgot my mom will be 77 in September, and I've got her watching you also. She says to me now that young gentleman is easy on the eyes. Actually, she says you're her eye candy and you make her day. Her name is also Emma from North Carolina. Keep being you and making us all laugh. Emma, thank you very much. And Mama Emma, what up? I wish I could be in North Carolina dancing with Mama Emma. What up, Mama Emma? Thank you so much for the love, support. Thank you, young Emma, for sharing the podcast with your mom. I've read a couple of comments like this before, where moms or sons and fathers or whatever, and they share it with their family, and then they get together and like talk about the podcast. My favorite thing, and of course, like you said in the beginning, the fact that I'm making you laugh is really the best part of the comment section for me. That's why I really love you guys, and that's why we actually started reading the comment section. So thank you, Emma, for sending the note and sending it to your mom. And hi, Mama Emma. All right. Next one is Beverly. Beverly said, oh, there's three here. We're going to read them all together. Beverly says, Cassie is very brave. She's bearing her soul. She has no reason to lie. The judge agrees. Angela said, found your channel. I love it. And the next one is Lisa. She says, Trent, I love your show. May you continue to be blessed. Lisa from Springfield, MA. All right, so first, Beverly, yes, 100%. Cassie is super, super brave. Never want to get that missed here. As I told you guys every day, when I talk about this case, I really want to be very legal and tell you guys like legal precedent and stuff. But regardless of whatever happens in that courtroom, guilty or not, Cassie is super, super, super brave to be doing this, saying her story out to the public like this, all over the internet. Some of these things have to be so hard to even have a conversation with your husband or your parents or your brother. Just imagine the whole world knowing like 10 years of pretty much the darkest 10 years of your life. Like super, super brave of her. Totally agree. Angel, found your channel. I love it. Thank you so much. I love getting new subscribers. And Lisa, shout out saying that you love my show. I love you right back. And I hope you continue to be blessed as well. All right, that is it for today's comments. I wish I could read them all out to you and comment back, but of course we have a show to do. But just know that I read them all before I go to bed at night, and it gives me great pleasure. So thank you. Keep commenting. Also, thanks again to Aura for always looking out for me, my family, my friends, and the Out Louders. I'll put up the QR code once again. Like I said, it is a free link. I'm not trying to sell you all nothing. It's a free link. They'll go in and let you know if anything has been exposed. If you guys have ever gotten weird phone calls from spammers, they could stop that. Weird things in your email, they could prevent that. Bank, credit card, they do all of that for free. They just want to let you know what they're capable of doing. If you want to continue after that, that's up to you and that's up to them. I just got you guys the free 14 days. One little quick thing to note, I'm going to not tell you guys this every day, but maybe like once a week, I'll remind you guys. When you're going to sign up, you'll see a box that says, how will you refer to this? And there's a drop-down menu that says podcast. Then there's a box that says your specific podcast. Some people have told me they tried to write in Trent Out Loud in there and it doesn't fit in. It's just a glitch. that's really not important. Don't worry about saying where you heard them or whatever. As long as you use my link, you'll get the 14 free days. That's all that is important, and we get the credit for it. So don't worry about filling in that box. All right. Thank you for all the comments, and thank you to Aura. All right, this brings us to social discussion of the day. All right, today's social discussion is not anything I found on the internet or anything like that. I wanted to ask you guys a question about Donald Trump. Now, the world has been really focused on Diddy the past 2 weeks, this past week with Cassie and the dancers and all of this stuff. I wanted to ask you guys how you're feeling about Donald Trump. We haven't really spoken about him. As you guys know, we definitely still kind of always touch in the political landscape, but I feel like we haven't had too much with Trump or just even politics just in general. So I wanted to use today's show to just open up the floor. How are you guys feeling about tariffs? And that's why I threw in the Walmart saying that, hey, we still have to raise prices, where there's a bunch of companies that are like, we're not raising prices. We got you. I've seen a lot of them. What do you guys feel about that? What do you think about the stock market looking very strong? Had a bounce back last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago now. Very, very steady. How are your 401ks looking? What do you think about Donald Trump and his visit to the Middle East? There's a lot of stuff that's going on in Qatar, the plane that he got, the deals that he's trying to make, trying to bring Putin to the negotiation table, trying to do stuff with Iran, etc., etc. I guess a general question is, how do you think Trump's doing? It's past the 100 days. He's in talks with China. Just all around, what's the climate like? How do you feel like the political climate, and how do you feel like the country is doing, the U.S.? How are you guys feeling? What's your temperament? Summer is coming up. Do you feel better? I think everybody was really scared last month. How are you feeling now? I personally, I'm feeling pretty good. I still feel like Trump doesn't necessarily go about things the right way. He does it the Trump way, which, again, we know his base loves. I feel like independents and specifically Democrats really hate it. But how's he been doing? I feel like it's still unsettling, and I wish he would care for the country and care for the people and not always be thinking about money and think about us, the people. I feel like that's where he can really improve. Some people don't have the stomach to deal with all of this ups and downs. And I feel like Trump is lacking that empathy. And I have gone on record saying, as a business person, as a businessman, somebody that had a national brand, I understand how it is, making tough decisions. I've told you guys, my staff has come to me like, hey, why aren't you ordering this? Or why are you battling with this brand? This brand sells really well. We're not going to meet our targets. I didn't, have my Monday meetings with my managers and be like, don't worry about it. Don't panic. I was still very empathetic, and I would speak to them and I would hear them out and I would try to explain. I feel like that's something that Donald Trump is not doing. However, I feel like with the stock market being stable, from what we're told, the 35 trade deals that he's working on, and the fact that China and the US have decided on a 90-day, very limited trade talks, I have to give them some sort of credit to know that things have at least stabilized after them being crazy almost like a month ago. And he said, just give me some time. I have said, this is America, a beautiful country. If we always don't see things eye to eye, I think I do a very good job of seeing things down the middle and seeing both sides. And I said, let's at least give him to June. It's May. I would give him a passing grade on the economy. I give him a failing grade on the feeling. And I don't have enough information yet on the Middle East. I feel like there's a couple of we're building a golf course, we're building a Trump club, we're doing this, like accepting a jet where it's not part of the Constitution. But surprise, surprise, I'm in the middle of the road. Let me know what you guys are feeling about the economy, what you're feeling about the U.S. overall, feeling about Middle East, and how you're feeling about Trump and the political landscape that's going on in the U.S. That's today's social discussion of the day. Let me know. All right, this brings us to question of the day. All right, I thought this was a really good question. You get to have one redo in life. What moment are you going back to fix or relive? First person said, nothing couldn't get me to change where I'm at. I'm good. Somebody said, I need to. My father and my dog back. It's nice. Next person said, our wedding day. Some folks just didn't need to be there. I don't know if I've ever told you guys, but when my sister got married, it was hands down the worst wedding ever. And I don't mean planning wise. I just mean that the fact that every single thing went wrong. The priest was late. It was hot in the church. Like we were there in tuxedos and suits, and it was hot, like sweating buckets. And we had to wait 2 hours for the priest. The limo broke down, and it was a brand new limo. Like the picture, like everything went bad. The microphone, people giving speeches. Like I had a friend of mine write a song for my sister. It was my music days. Like everything went wrong. Guess what? She says that she would never change a thing. It literally goes down as like the most talked about event in our family because everything went wrong, but everything went right. My sister is still married, happily married, 4 children. And it just goes to something that we laugh at now. You know what I mean? So I'm already getting into like why I asked this question. You guys have heard me say a bunch of times where I don't think I would change anything because it has me here. You know, maybe if my sister would have had the best, most perfect wedding ever, maybe she wouldn't have still been married. Maybe she wouldn't have 4 kids. I think we need to take time to just appreciate the blessings that we have today, regardless of what situation you're in. The fact that you're just here today is the blessing. So anyways, next person said, I would have gone to an HBCU for my undergrad. Never meeting my firstborn's mom. By the way, this is why I'm afraid of having kids, yo. I never want to feel that way for the mother of my children. Like, imagine that. Imagine you have a kid and being like, ugh, I wish I never met your mother. Oh, man, I don't care, man. I'd rather not have kids. I would want to relive my wedding day one more than time. Probably the best day of my life. Oh, that's nice. I want to relive it. That's really nice. I would have stayed home. Okay, no, I don't want to read that. One last hug from my mom. Sweet. Somebody said my own birth. Imagine being able to like relive your own birth and like standing out and like chilling. Definitely going back to my teen years, being more productive and goal oriented. I go back to college. Somebody said I wouldn't have gotten married. Oh, that's tough. But at least that's something that you can erase. I'm not afraid of getting married. Well, maybe the money part of it scares me, but you can get a divorce. That's fine. It's the kid thing that I have a fear, because if you with the wrong person, that person has to be in your life for the rest of your life. That's so scary. Somebody says not paying bills. Okay, that is not the question, ma'am. I'd like to go back when both my parents were here. It's very sad. Going back to when I was 18. No kids. See, that's terrible, man. Imagine wanting to be like, I wish I could go back where I had no kids. Horrible. No regrets. There you go. Choose a better marriage partner and co-parent so my mind and body wouldn't have to heal from unnecessary trauma. See, this is my fear, y'all. I know y'all are going to say, it's okay, Trent, get married. Yo, have kids. I have fear. Somebody says, my baby mama. Winning lucky 4 number. I don't know what that means. All right. Kindergarten. It would be cool to go back to kindergarten, right? Leaving my home state and attending college after graduation. Any summer as a kid I spent at my grandma's house. That's nice. Saving. Okay, no. Leaving school freshman year. It's stuff. All right, some good answers. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about these answers or some of your answers on your own. What is if you got to redo a time, what time would you redo, or which time in your past would you fix? Let me think. What would I like to redo? Because I forgot that part. Yeah, there is a redo. What would you like to relive? I think my time in the music industry, because I've told you guys before, I love music so much. Being in the studio, going out on tour, every 2 or 3 days being in a different city, I really, really, really love that. I just love the energy of the music industry. Being out late, I'm a night person. Like, I love dancing. I like clubbing. And not like people are like, oh, you be outside being in the club. Like, it's not in the club for that reason. I just really love music. I love the energy of nightlife. And that's never going to change. People are like, oh, when do you start going to the club? I'm going to be 80 years old in the club. Mark my word. And that's why I have so many house parties. Like, of course, house parties are the best. But anyways, I digress. Music, my days in the music industry and modeling, because every day you just woke up and I was traveling, man. Hey, you have a shoot here. I would be in, I'd be in South Africa. I would be in South America. I'd be all over the US. Or you have a shoot in Dallas. Oh, you have a shoot in Florida. Oh, you got signed in Florida. You're going to be in South Beach, Miami for a month and a half. Like, it was so dope, man. It was so dope. I loved it. I woke up every day, worked out, because I did a lot of underwear modeling, worked out, went for a shoot, come back home or go to an audition, come back home, work out again, and at night sit down and chill. I'd read a book, or if it was on the weekends, I would go out. Like, it was such an easy time. However, I'm going to do the double however's even more now. However, the thing I don't miss about modeling, it was that it was like I wasn't using my brain, and that was hard for me. Like, even with music, I was in music management, right? So I was using my brain, I was doing things. I was more active, right? I was using business and the art side of my brain. So I really like that. Don't ask me why I'm answering this question so long, because I'm rambling, but hey, it's Friday. And I kind of missed the stores, but the stores I wasn't able to be as creative. It was more like money. I liked building a store because that gave me like chance for my artistic side. Yeah, but ultimately I'm happy where I am now, because this is still a business that I'm building, but I get to use my brain every day, whether it be in law, whether it be in political stuff, whether it be entertainment, and talking with you guys, and I get to do my entertainment. What? I'm in the happiest place and time in my life right now. So ask me 5 years and I would like to redo building this podcast, because it makes me the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. Let me know your answer in the comment section below. Sorry for being so long-winded. All right, this brings us to sports news. All right, y'all. Very, very, very sad. My Warriors are gone. They have been eliminated. They lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves, who is my second team, 4-1. Steph Curry wasn't there for the last 4 games. Obviously, they're going to... 4 games? Yeah, I think the last 4 games. Obviously, they're going to lose. The one game that he was there, they won. Very sad. The Knicks won game 5. Sorry, the Knicks lost game 5. Sorry. Boston won. Now it goes back to Madison Square Garden, where, if you ask me, the Knicks are going to take it. I'm sure. That game is, well, depending when you're watching this, that game is Friday night. Anyway, so Knicks and Boston is still. And then Thursday night's game, depending on when you watch this, sorry, OKC and Thunder. Please, OKC, please eliminate Denver, please. So, like I said, it looks like Eastern Conference Finals are going to be Pacers and the Knicks. We're still on pace for that. Knicks are leading, and I think they're going to win. And then Minnesota Timberwolves, who are in the conference finals. Now we just have to find out if OKC can beat Denver. So OKC and Minnesota, Pacers, Knicks. Who's winning? I think it's going to be Knicks and Timberwolves, man. Knicks and Timberwolves. That's a pretty good final. What's sad is that, well, not sad, but bad for the NBA is that you don't have any like legacy names to have the non-NBA fans tune in. You know, like my mom's not going to tune in. She doesn't know who Anthony Edwards is. You know what I mean? She doesn't know who anybody on the Knicks are. You know what I mean? That's why people don't really watch the NBA right now. But you have to make new stars. You're going to have to get Anthony Edwards to be a little bit more known, you know? The LeBron James, the Steph Curry, the Kevin Durant, those names, it's time for them to take a seat and let the new guys come in. Anthony Edwards, just go see your daughter. Let me know who you guys think is going to win Eastern and Western Conference Finals in the comment section below. All right, y'all, that is a wrap on today's show. Big week. Technically the second week in the Diddy trial, but the first week of testimony has been a crazy week. Thank you for all the downloads, the views, the new subscribers, the likes, the comments. Love all y'all. As you know, we were recording this Thursday night or Friday morning. There is still going to be trial and testimony all day Friday. What I think I might do is I think I might put out another podcast tomorrow, which I guess will be like a Friday night podcast. If there is some big news, I think Cassie is still going to be on the stand and she still will be cross-examined. And if there's some stuff out there that we need to tell you about, I will do a smaller version podcast. And that might actually just dub for Monday's podcast. All right. So just stay tuned for that. Just keep checking the page. We'll let you guys know, turn your notifications on. All right. Before I let you go, just want to remind you of all the ways to keep up with the Trent Out Loud podcast. For my YouTubers who are used to watching on YouTube, if you're ever going on a flight or you're going in a car or somewhere where you don't have internet and you're wondering how you're going to watch the show, we are available on all podcast platforms. You could just go there and download the show and take us with you. Go to any podcast site, type in Trent Out Loud, the show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button so that you could be notified every time we upload a new show. And just like YouTube, we upload daily. Now, vice versa, for those of you who are used to listening on podcast platforms, thank you so much for your downloads and the likes and comments over there. However, we would love if you guys would come over and hang out with the Out Louders over here on YouTube, because the comment section over here is litty. All right. Head on over to YouTube, type in Trent Out Loud, the show will pop up. A couple of housekeeping rules. Hit that subscribe button, gives you your membership into the Out Loud community. Hit that like button and get the algorithming. Then, most important, please try to comment below. I do this show with you. I'm asking questions. I need your comments and I need your feedback, or it's just boring. All right. Try to comment and let us know where you're from. This is a global community, and it's just nice to let people know where you are writing in from. If you're really enjoying the show, like Emma and Mama Emma, please share the show with your family, friends, and loved ones, because it helps in growing the channel. And we are here to grow. All right. We appreciate you. For those of you who want to follow me outside of the show, I'm available on all social media platforms. It's always the same handle, Trent Out Loud. I'm the most active on Instagram. Somebody actually just sent me a DM on TikTok. I was like, I'm not even really on TikTok, but I am technically. But I am most active on Instagram, and I post a bunch of your comments in my Instagram story. So follow me on IG and look out for your comments on IG. We have started a blog page, formerly Out Loud on Instagram, FORMALLY. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh, we're starting a small blog page and we're just testing it out to see how it's doing. It's really doing very well. We have a lot of comments. We have a lot of views. A lot of energy is going on over there. So I'd recommend for y'all to check us out. There's some stories that we'll post out there that we don't necessarily bring to the podcast. Most of them, of course, gets onto the show. More importantly, why we started this blog page is that we can put out the extended videos or some of the things that are copywritten that we cannot play on YouTube, or if it's swear words or whatever, that we'll put it over there on Instagram, because they're a lot more lenient over there. A lot of the Cassie transcripts are out there, very detailed. Some of it is too detailed, but if you want to see it, head on over to Formerly Out Loud, FORMALLY Out Loud. All right. Thank you so much once again for hanging out with me all week. Once again, here is the QR code. Shout out to Aura, our amazing sponsor, the #1 leader in digital security. And thank you guys. Have a great week. We'll see you on Monday, or actually maybe tomorrow. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace!